Hey everybody, Lindsey Duncan here, and I wanted to share with you a pretty intense life-changing experience that I've just gone through. So I just returned from Costa Rica, where, as many of you know, I did a 23-day water-only fast in the jungles of Costa Rica. And it was just absolutely mind-blowing. And look, I've been fasting for 38 years, and I've done every kind of fast that you can imagine, from watermelon fast to celery fast to colon cleansing to liver flushes to gallbladder flushes. I've done kidney flushes. I've done skin fasting and purging where the water became black in a tub of specific solution to purge the skin and the lymphatic system. I've done nervous system fast. I've done brain fast. I've done fat fast, fatty liver fast. I've done every single type of fast or cleanse that you could ever imagine. And I can tell you right now, the 23 days that I just did in Costa Rica was by far the most beneficial and the most impactful cleanse or fast that I've ever done. And this was conducted in the jungles of Costa Rica. It was actually on an exotic fruit farm, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I took about 40 to 50 pages of journal notes. And in these journal notes, I cover every single symptom that I experienced. I covered every single thing that healed and every single thing that was stirred up. I covered every Hexheimer reaction. I covered every single healing crisis. I covered many healing crises, big healing crisis, small healing crisis, and healing crisis that I was not even expecting. I had an interesting debate with one of my followers, and he said, Lindsey, you made a statement, and it kind of it threw me off. I didn't understand why you said it. You said that we must learn the proper way to fast, and that fasting can be dangerous if it's not done properly. And I said, yes, sir. I said, absolutely, I did say that. He goes, well, how can you be a proponent of fasting and say that it's so great for you, and then turn around and say that it also can be damaging for you or can be unhealthy? And I said, well, just because something is incredibly healthy for you, does it mean that it can't have a bad side? And he said, well, I don't really know. I mean, oxygen, air, water, food. I mean, how can all that? We need that to sustain life. How can that be bad for you? And I laughed and I said, it can be absolutely horrible for you. I said, people are killing themselves with food. We need food to sustain life, but they're killing themselves every single day with gluttony, with too much food or too much of the wrong food. And it's happening every single day. I go, have you ever heard of oxygen toxicity? And he goes, no. I go, well, look it up. I go, oxygen toxicity is extra oxygen, too much oxygen in the body, and it can cause damage. It can cause damage to the lungs, to the eyes, to the brain. It can even cause death from oxygen, the basic, simple, most important thing we need to sustain life. I said, what about water intoxication, also known as water poisoning? He goes, I've never heard of it. I go, well, you can consume too much water. I go, it can cause seizures, it can cause brain damage, it can cause coma, it can even cause death. It increases pressure inside our skull. I go, do you know how much water the human body can process at any given 1 hour? And he said, no. And I said, 1 liter. And I informed him, I said, people wake up, they drink 2 glasses of water, they think they've got half their water in or a quarter of their water in for the day. They absolutely are doing the worst thing they could do for their body. The body can only process 1 liter in 1 hour. Look it up. It's in the medical journals. And he said to me, he goes, what happens after that liter has been consumed and someone drinks 2 liters or 3 liters or 4 liters? I said, it depletes the body. I go, guess what it depletes the body of? And he goes, I have no idea. And I said, electrolytes. I go, so here's the 60-year-old man fasting on day 20. He's drinking too much water. He's losing electrolytes. What does the heart need to function on? He goes, I don't know. I said, potassium. Potassium's the number one mineral, the number one biochemical element in the human heart. I go, if you flush the potassium, that electrolyte, out of the body, the heart stops. I go, if you flush the sodium out of the body needs sodium to sustain life. The heart stops. So we have to be aware there's a right way to fast and there's a wrong way to fast. One of the kids that was fasting at this retreat that I was at. His last fast, he broke with cottage cheese and ended up in the emergency room. I was doing a colon cleanse in the desert Hot Springs, California. A few years ago, a guy broke a fast the wrong way. He only fasted for 7 days on pizza. He ended up in the hospital. People break fast all the time. I saw somebody break a fast with a steak one time. They ended up in the emergency room. Happens all the time. If you want to learn the incredible, healing, powerful benefits of how to fast, you must learn how to do it the right way. And that's one of the things that I teach in our course. It's one of the main golden nuggets that I teach in our course, our 8-week course. You can't learn how to fast in one night, in 2 nights, and that's why I spend so much time on fasting the proper way and how to break a fast, when to fast, when not to fast. What's the difference between a cleanse and a fast? What's a true fast? And all the benefits of all the different types of fast. I break it all down, and it's so very important. It's one of the most valuable lessons that I provide in our Happy and Healthy Brain Gut course, bar none. There's no question about it. So, yes, you can bring in the wrong kind of food. Yes, you can break a fast improperly. Yes, you can bring in too much oxygen. Yes, you can bring in too much water. Yes, you can bring in the wrong kind of foods at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. And that's why we teach people how to fast. Let's go through some of the results of what I went through. We start the fast. I'm in my hut, no hot water, very basic. Beginning the fast, documenting myself, showing I've got plenty of fat on my body. I started, before the fast, I was around 203 pounds. I knew that I needed to go off of caffeine, off of any wine, off of fatty foods. I needed to do a little mini fast, and so I fasted for 2 days and 3 days, and I kind of got my body ready. And then what I did was I got myself down to about 190 pounds. I lost a total of little over 31 pounds in 23 days. I went from having this unhealthy spare tire, this visceral fat around the midsection. I went from this to this, and I did that in 23 days. My body fat was perfect by the end of this fast. And now I don't want to be gross here. So it's not about shock value. It's not about being gross. I want to be informative. I really want to inform you. Why did I take pictures of my urine? Well, I took pictures of my urine because after day 10, 9, 10, or 11, I expected my urine to clear up. It never did. 20 days later, I'm urinating and my urine is yellow and orange. What does that tell you? I'm drinking 12 10-ounce glasses of water, sipping it throughout the entire day. By the time 20 days has completed, I've drunk 240 glasses of pure spring water, and I'm still urinating a strong smelling metal chemical smelling like drugs, and it's coming out every single time I urinate. And it's orange. It's orange and yellow. And I'm just shocked that the human body holds on to stuff for so long and so intensely. I took my pH. My pH was acid. My urine pH was so acidic every day that it was most days off the chart. So it was below 5.5, 5.4, 5.3. Some days it was even in the 4s. Now what is that? That's acid coming out of my body. And it was coming out of my body every single day. Even if I took my pH 4 times a day, it was every single time I took my pH, it was acidic. I took pictures of my face, the bags under my eyes, the puffiness around my cheeks, the cloudiness in my eyes. And as I got closer and closer to the end of my fast, everything started to clear up. The bags started to clear up. My skin cleared up. My urine never cleared up. It stayed strong. It stayed yellow. It stayed an orangish color. It stayed smelling like metals and like chemicals for the entire 23 days. Even when I started refeeding, still was a strong smell. Something very interesting started happening around day 10 or day 11. I started developing a cough. And at this time, I would cough up, no runny nose, no fever, no symptoms, no flu, no virus, nothing like that. I started to cough up green and yellow. And the green and the yellow, you can see by these pictures, and even the brown started coming out of my body. And I would cough up 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60 times a day. Again, no fever, just expectorating, just releasing from my lungs this old gelatinous material that my body was holding on to. Now you tell me this is not fascinating. What comes out of the human body after eating zero food and drinking 12 glasses of purified water a day, and this kind of garbage is still coming out of the body. I added years to my life. There is no question in my mind that I added many years to my life. I start removing all the dead skin from my body, and it was shocking how much was coming off. And I took video of it. I actually brushed one leg so you could see all the dead skin, and I left the other leg bare that had not been brushed yet so you could see the difference. This is mastering the art of total and absolute detoxification. Think about the skin. The skin is our largest eliminative organ by volume. It covers our entire body. The skin is the largest, the skin's larger than the lungs, larger than the bowels, larger than the kidneys. It is the largest eliminative organ. Why would we not focus on making sure that the skin is detoxifying properly while on a 23-day water fast? To not address the skin simply makes no logical sense whatsoever. I turn the healing power of my body inward. And I documented everything. My urine, the smell, the pH, the chemicals, the skin, everything I could document. And as my body would heal, I would feel my pulse pick up. My pulse would become rapid for 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, and it would be concentrated in my lungs, and boom, I would start spitting this stuff up. Or it would be concentrated in my left kidney, and then I would go urinate and I would smell the chemicals coming out of my body. Or it would be concentrated in my liver. My liver would literally break out within an hour, filled with pimples on the outside of my liver and gallbladder where my skin is. And then it would clear up. I would have a horrible headache and my tongue would get coated, and then 2 hours later, after my pulse would pick up and the healing would begin, and then it would clear up on its own. All I had to do was keep sipping water, not guzzling water, sipping water. That's me with the owner. He's 61, I'm 60. There's 121 years between these two people right here on this picture. 121 years of health right there. I remember thinking one time, you know, we eat 2 to 3 meals a day. That's 1,000 meals a year, roughly. 365 days in a year. Times 2 is 700. Times 3 is 960, 970. It's 1,000 meals, counting snacks. We have about 1,000 meals a year. I can't take 1 month and bypass 100 meals? Why not? I just set aside, you know what? This month I'm not going to eat. I'll pass on those 90 to 100 meals. No big deal. Let my body rejuvenate. Let my body recharge. Let my digestive system turn on itself and purify itself. And that's exactly what I did. And then on day 23, I properly, and I mean properly, broke my fast. Actually, day 24. What did I have the first day? Nothing but fresh, cracked open organic coconut water. That's all I had. First solid meal that I put in my body's right there. Pure organic watermelon. And that, my friends, is my journey to wellness, vitality, and incredible health through the process of fasting and detoxification.